and welcome back to another BobBlast. Hi, I'm Bob Burridge, and this one is all about the continuing series of Tools of the Trade. This one, it's about paint, a great tool of the trade, right? And this one is specifically about acrylic paint. You know, I just love acrylic paint. And I was asked, why do I like to paint? I had to stop to think about it. I've been painting my whole life, I guess, as a kid. You know, especially watercolors, you know, and acrylic. Well, way back then, they hardly had any acrylics. But anyway, I just kept going. And then I went to art school, an art college. And in art college, you have to do 4 years of a little bit of everything. Weaving, sculpture, welding, ceramics, all the wonderful stuff in an art school, right? And one of the classes that I was taking was painting. I wasn't meant to be a painter. You know, I'm supposed to be an industrial designer. But painting was something I just loved. And why painting? Because I could get instant result. Instant. You know, I didn't have to run things through computers. And I wanted to get my hands wet. That's a really important part. I love to pick up brushes. I like to use my hands as brushes. I love to use paper towels as my brushes. In fact, I found myself in the painting area a whole lot longer than any of my other classes. Meanwhile, I'm studying to be an engineer, right? So this is Tools of the Trade, and it's about stuff that I do every day. And I'm going to show you at least the acrylic paints that I like to use every day in my studio. Well, as you know, I love acrylic paints. I love painting, period. That's it. I love oil paintings. I love the aroma. Don't we all love the aroma of oil painting? I do love it. It takes a long time to dry, and it's so permanent. It's been wonderful. Then there's watercolors. They're so thin. Sometimes you get these beautiful little colors, and everything's just so nice and watercolor. And then there's acrylics. That's what I like. I mean, I like to say I paint like I mean it, right? You can mean it in all the other mediums too, but I just happen to like acrylics for all its reasons. It dries quickly, it's permanent, got these great colors out there, and it's very affordable, and it's very professional too. So I just like the immediate response to acrylics. Also, I like the fact that it's just water cleanup. Doing my part on this planet, that's all I can think of right now. And so, how wonderful. So no toxicity in my studio, which is kind of a good thing for me. It's all water-based, of course, and let me just show you some of the differences in an acrylic paint. So I know you know this stuff, but it comes really thick. These are heavy-bodied acrylic paints from Holbein, heavy body, because there's 100% pure saturation of the pigment, and that's what I like about it. And it makes a beautiful, the tubes, you're all familiar with the tubes. You pull it out, look, it's thick, it's already heavy body, you can see it right there. It's not flowing anywhere. It's the right consistency, and I love to see it acts like an oil paint, but it's not. So I do like that. And so I love the tubes, and then there's also the liquids. Now here's the fun thing. Acrylic paints, they come two ways. They say acrylic fluid or fluid acrylics, or they say they're inks. Now these are the latest, incredible concentration of inks. You can put them on as a watercolor, or they come sometimes with an applicator. You can purchase an applicator. With this will have a really wide sponge effect on your painting. Anyway, you should see these. They work so well, and well, let me just do this. Look, even the liquid is pretty thick, and is so solid, beautiful. Now, I did promise you, this is the marigold. This is transparent. What's beautiful about these paints, they actually show you right there in the front if it's translucent or not. So if you can still see those little black dots, now you know this is great for glazing and it's transparent. So this is very liquidy, whoa. But it still has incredible body, which means it has a lot of pigment, which means it's easier for me to paint when I have a lot of pigment on my brush, right? As opposed to it's a whole lot of water and a little bit of pigment. I'm going to paint like I mean it, as I say. Now let me show you how this works for me. Now I get to paint, starting off with the Holbein Luminous Opera. So I know if you're watching this video, you probably have lots of tubes of paint. Well, this is a tube of paint of pure pigment, 100% heavy body. So here's the paint I just squeezed out there earlier. And just know that it stands up beautifully. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, isn't it? Add a little bit of water. Now, when I add a little bit of water, I've heard comments about, well, doesn't that break it all down into little splashes of paint and whatever's? I said, no, because it's full body, it's pure pigment. Look at that. And I can thin it way, way down, and it still holds up. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so that's the Luminous Opera, and all the tubed paints come that way, you know, and they're really strong colors. Look at the solid, thinned all the way down. All right, that's one of the things I like to show you. Well, at least that's how the tube works. I'll put this over here. How about the marigold? Now, these are the inks, but they also are known as acrylic fluids. But they are transparent. And you know that because you can look at the front cover and see those little black dots with a swab of color over them. And if you could still see those dots, well, now you know that this is a transparent paint. Wonderful way of looking at it, right? So next time, look at the front cover of your paints. There will be some indication if it's opaque or if it's transparent. So I love this color, by the way. And what I'm going to do is show you how I like to do it is, here's the color right here. Paper towels, big brushes, anything like that. After I get the initial design of a painting done, this is a graphic design. This is asymmetrical. A whole lot of stuff going on over here. One little focal point over here. So here's what I like to do. After it dries, oh boy, this is going to be fun. Because I'm going to mix up a little bit of the tube in with that. No, here we go. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to that black and white painting. I love painting this way. I'm even going to squeeze it right on it. Eliminate the middleman. Just get in there. Look how that's completely changed. Whoa! My brush picked up some more paint on the side. But see, I haven't lost the initial design. Now we're starting to add some cool colors, right? Look at this. I'm going to do it over here even. Woo! This is why I love the freedom of this. It's all pure pigment. It's a good example of how I can break this color down to pure water almost, and it still holds up. All right? I'm going to, here we go. Should I use some of this? Probably not. I think it's time to go over to the inks. Okay? Here's the inks. It's the same situation. These were the acrylic fluids, but now these are a little thicker. Just beautiful thickness. And here it is. I'll pour some out, or I can just sprinkle it on like that. Crazy, huh? Why not throw some water on here too? Why not throw some water in here? And why not? It starts to paint itself. And it's out of control. And that's how you want it to be anyway. So now I'm going to start rubbing this into this color, wet into wet. It's fantastic. It's like it creates this incredible patina. It's just the way to get started. This isn't the way, but this is how I like to get started. Making sure, start off with a mess, as opposed to working all day long and end up with a mess. I get this part out of the way at the very beginning. Start off with a mess. Anyway, look at all the possibilities we have here. So from 3 different viscosities, you have the tube, and you have the really thin, watered down version, almost transparent, and then of course you have the inks, which are super professional and great alignment of colors too. You should see them all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Now we know the difference between transparent and opaque, things like that, and the paints that I like to use. All right, so you deserve professional paints. So go to an art store, a real art store, and look at all the paints they have to offer. And then you decide, try a little bit of everything. That's how you learn. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you at the next Bob Blast.